Hey guys, it's me, Japanese Alien Studios. I am back with another video. Today, I decided to start my journey back onto YouTube since I've been off of YouTube for a while with a kick, kind of, by reading a BakuDeku fanfiction. The title of this fanfiction is, it's a little kink exploration between friends by Tumbleweed Chaser, an archive of our own. Honestly, I'm a little nervous to read this because, I'm not used to, reading things out loud to people. Please work with me and do not get mad at me. So let's just get into it. Chapter 1, Spanking. Izuku felt the tension in his shoulders relax as he finally entered his shared apartment. The day had been tedious, a long stream of petty crime that was hardly physically exerted, but wore at his nerves and emotions. Plus, he had been hit with some woman's quirk. She hadn't meant to do it, to be fair, but she activated her quirk when her shop was being robbed. And just who robs in a toy store anyway? When Izuku had crouched down beside her, she startled so bad her quirk was set off, and she passed out before he could ask any questions. There didn't seem to be any worrying effects, and he had been summoned away from the scene to take care of another runner several blocks over. In the few quiet moments of the day, he noticed a slight itch, and niggling at the back of his head, like a craving for sweets or cigarette, but not anything Izuku could put his finger on. It was easily dismissed when needed to, but strange enough to ask his agent to get more information about the quirk he had been hit with so far. There had been no responses, and since work was through, the feeling was more present in his mind. Once inside his home, he removed his sneakers and slid his feet into his slippers. He grinned absently at Katsuki's boots, neatly tucked away. They moved in together along with Kirishima and Ashiro after high school to save on rent. The agencies were all close by, the central location of the city where it would be hard to find affordable housings and quick access to the subway. Pooling their resources had made sense. Some of their classmates were skeptical that Bakugo and Midoriya could live together peacefully, but they both matured in high school. Apologies have been made, and boundaries have been built. But Kirishima and Ashiro moved out into their own apartment a few years later to explore their relationship farther. By then, Midoriya and Bakugo made enough money to continue living there, so they turned the third bedroom into a weight room and continued about their day-to-day lives. Altogether, they'd been living comfortably together in their apartment for 6 years. Occasionally, they squabbled, but nothing like the fights in their youth. Izuku shuffled lazily into the kitchen, where Bakugo was preparing dinner. The itch in the back of his mind grew a little stronger, but he shook it away and greeted his roommate. "Smells good, Kachan." The blonde glanced back. "You look like shit." The green-haired man chuckled. "It was a long day." "You hurt?" "Nah, just tired." "Sit. I'll bring you your food when it's ready." "Okay," Izuku said, taking a seat at the nearby table, his back to his roommate. He laid his head down on his arms for a short while. His phone chirped, a special tone for his agent, and the tired hero lifted his head. In hopes of an answer concerning the mystery quirk, he opened the email with a sigh. "Hero Deku, I was able to contact the woman who accidentally used her quirk on you today. Firstly, she wanted to apologize for doing so, and thank you for your assistance today. Secondly, she assures the quirk will not inhabit your work, nor should it cause any physical discomfort outside of the sense of craving. Though, the quirk is unusual in nature." Her quirk is called kink. Izuku made a startled, choking sound as he attempted to gasp and scream at the same time. Behind him, he heard Bakugo mutter, "Stupid Deku can't even breathe properly," before more loudly asking, "You need water?" "No," Izuku said far too quickly and loudly, defensively and embarrassingly, pulling his phone closer to read more. The quirk is called kink, and heightens lustful feelings. She stated, until the quirk is satiated, you will have this constant but ignorable feeling of want. This is its dormant mode. To become active, 2 parameters must be met. 1, you must be presented or reminded of a personal kink, she said, such as nurse outfits, spanking, or bondage. And 2, you must be in the presence of someone who you find both attractive and whom you trust. She stated the quirk will work its way out of your system once all your kinks have been explored with your choice of partner. She also empathized that it does not affect inhibitions, self-control, etc., only increases sensations of lustful wants and makes achieving climax easier. How long it lasts depends on how quickly you explore your kinks. I suppose as your agent, I should remind you to please be responsible during these explorations and have fun, I guess? Sato. Izuku was beet red and wheezing. His kinks? How the hell was he supposed to know what his kinks were? His partners had all been very vanilla. Not that he hadn't been willing to explore, but they were all very content to keep things simple. He skimmed the email again. Nurse outfits? Is that a kink people have? That didn't seem very exciting. Nurses were hard workers, usually covered in spit, vomit, or blood. From his experience. Spanking? Did he like spanking people? He didn't think he'd ever tried to do that. Hitting a partner didn't sound fun. Wonder what it's even like. He considered being on the receiving end and shivered as the itch grew stronger. Maybe being spanked would be kinda nice, actually? The actual fuck are you talking about? Bakugo asked, setting a plate of food in front of Midoriya and shooting him a questioning glare. You look like you're gonna have an aneurysm. The fuck is wrong with you? Izuku clutched his phone closer to his chest as he looked up at his roommate and tried not to look as embarrassed and weirdly guilty as he felt. But as soon as he saw Katsuki's confused glare, wide, strong chest, thick biceps, strong hands, a brief thought of being spanked by Katsuki flashed in his mind, and the itch grew incredibly stronger, and Izuku made a weird wheezing sound at the realization. You're acting fucking weird, even for you, Bakugo groused, glare deepening. I'm fine, Izuku squeaked. Bullshit, give me your phone. What? The shorter hero said, clutching his phone and shifting it to shield it from Bakugo's line of sight. Why do you don't need, he sputtered. The explosive hero moved quick, nearly upsetting the table and their dinner, as he grasped Izuku's phone from behind. Using a weakness of Izuku's he's known since childhood, tickled his sides. To his advantage, little did he know the close proximity and somewhat rough treatment was having a very different effect on Izuku, whose mind was filled with lustful thoughts, and Dick twitched with interest. Another squeaky wheeze and a flinch away from Bakugo's touch, and the blonde had captured the phone from his victim's hand. Of course, once it was out of his hand, Izuku failed to try to reach for it. Bakugo used his height to his advantage, and an old game of keep it away at play as he thumbed in Izuku's code and read the email that had Midoriya so worked up. Holy shit, Bakugo said with a sadistic glee. A kink quirk? You got hit with a kink quirk? Hachan, Izuku whined. Give me my phone back, you jerk. Oh, hell no. He shifted so he could continue reading, thumbing at the screen to get more details. Is this what you were muttering about? Thinking about some hot piece of ass in a nurse outfit, huh? I was not, said Izuku, who placed his foot in the back of Katsuki's knee and forced him to fall to the ground, yanking Izuku down with him and dropping the phone so it skidded away across the kitchen floor. Katsuki was laughing as Izuku crawled over him towards his phone. What then? Getting tied up? Spanked? Probably should spank you for tripping me. And after I made... Oh. Hovering above him, Izuku had seemingly frozen at Katsuki's words. A deep blush formed under his freckles. As he panted slightly, eyes screwed shut, he looked wrecked already. A brave glance down, and Katsuki found an obvious bulge in Izuku's pants. Oh, he repeated dumbly. Izuku let out a deep breath and carefully extracted himself from the floor, fetching his phone and strictly avoiding eye contact. He cleared his throat, and eyes darting anywhere but Katsuki. Let's eat. Yeah, said Katsuki, licking his lips. Yeah. He lifted himself from the floor and made his way to the table. Shortly after, joined by Izuku, who looked like he wanted to puke, or cry, or run. Awkwardly, they tucked into the meal. Katsuki stole glances at Izuku, trying to gauge the situation. He almost tried to start up a conversation more than once, but didn't know what to say. You made it too spicy again, Izuku said, even though he wasn't sniffling like he used to. Nah, Katsuki said, a strange but welcome wave of relief washing over him. I made it just right. The stilted conversation ended, both men working through their food as if the answer to all their unasked questions would be hidden underneath. Of course, when they cleared their plates, there were only dirty dishes beneath. Are you done? Izuku asked, trying to be normal, but tense all at the same time. Katsuki grunted in reply, but pushed his plate towards the other man in confirmation. The shorter man cleared the table, rinsing the dishes off at the sink, as Katsuki watched. Sorry, Izuku said, as he shut off the water. Your agent would be pretty pissed if you wanted a sexcapade, huh? At that, Izuku looked up with wide, shocked eyes, finally meeting Katsuki's. He forced a laugh. Yeah, I guess he would. And from what I read, it needs to be with someone you trust, right? I'll just have to get used to it, I guess, Izuku said, a fake smile he used for the media on his face. I have experience, you know, Katsuki suggested, the words escaping him without any real thought of what exactly he was offering. Scenes and, kinky play, spanking. Izuku visibly shivered, blush reforming, and hand reaching to the counter in an effort to steady himself. When he didn't respond, Katsuki continued. I'm gay, you're bi, we're both hot and single, both live here. No need to worry about paparazzi or whatever. The shorter hero's breath picked up again. Katsuki could see the outline of his cock pressing against his pants. Newly found confidence, Katsuki grinned. I clearly meet your qualifications, he said, flipping a gesture towards Izuku's crotch. I don't even... Izuku started to speak, but his thoughts petered out with an embarrassment. Sigh and averting his eyes. Don't even what? No. We don't have to do anything, Zuko. He felt the urge to assure. Just saying, I'm willing to help you out. The email said I have to work through all of them, Izuku said, frustration and vent in his voice. Bakugo felt his eyebrows raise in surprise. A chuckle escaped him. What? You got a bunch of kinks, nerd? Some checklists in one of your notebooks? All of dirty things that turn you on? No, Izuku said, bluntly, crossing his arms. Would it be easier if I did? Wait. Katsuki proceeded. Are you saying you don't even know what your kinks are? You're 24 years old. What's your favorite porn genre? It doesn't really watch porn, Izuku confessed. You've dated, though. Did your partners ever, ask to be choked or something? What? Izuku asked, surprised, facing Katsuki again. No, they never asked to be choked. They all just... He bit his lip and shut... Ugh, crap. He bit his lip and shut and huffed in annoyance. Just what? Why are we talking about my sex life? Because their sex life is being affected by a quirk and I want to help. They both stowed. You want to help? Izuku questioned. It was Katsuki's turn to be embarrassed. A light blush heated his cheeks, but he refused to back down. You may have featured in a few fantasies over the years, he scowled. What? You never once thought about fucking me? Bakugo wanted to gloat at... crap. Bakugo wanted to gloat at the tail-to-tail flush and glaze aversion. Crap, I'm so bad at reading this. That donated Izuku's embarrassment guilt. Look, he continued. I'm going to sit on the sofa. If you want, you can come lay across my lap and let me spank you. He pressed on through Izuku's sudden coughing fit. If you don't want to, then you can go to your room and we can pretended this never happened. Either way, I'm pretty sure our friendship can handle it. With that, the blonde got up from his seat at the table and disappeared into the little living room. Izuku hesitated. The itch in his brain told him to go present his ass to Katsuki, but the logical part of him was terrified of the consequences. But then Katsuki had been already said it, hadn't he? Their friendship had survived far worse periods and encounters than sex. Izuku gave in few vices these days. He deserved fun, right? A chance to try something new? He steadied himself with a deep breath and then made his way into the living room, where Katsuki was sitting in the middle of their sofa, arms stretched along the back, muscles on display, and making Izuku's mouth water. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, guys. Any thought of chickening out was gone at the sight of him. Izuku stepped closer, fidgeting with the hem of his shirt, eyes down. How do you want me? Pretty sure I made myself clear earlier. I meant, close? Katsuki hummed thoughtfully. Let's stay dressed for tonight. See how we feel about this before we go too far, yeah? Izuku swallowed and nodded. Right, yeah. He slipped his feet out of the slippers, feeling silly in them at the moment, and then made his way into Katsuki's lap, ass up and his head dangling aside the sofa. Bakugo's mouth watered at the sight in front of him. Even clothed Izuku's ass was a prize. His shoot style sculpting his guts and his thighs into works of art. He thought about it a lot, and now here Izuku was, laying over his lap and presenting it like a present. He placed a hand on the back of Izuku's thigh, noticing a tiny flinch, and then the shiver of the other man. Slowly he ran his hand up the crest of Izuku's backside and gave a firm squeeze. He heard Izuku's light gasp, shifted by how he'd pressed his face into the couch cushions. Katsuki put his other hand in Izuku's hair. He didn't tug, but he didn't pull slightly, guiding Izuku's face so he could hear the little moan that escaped his lips. No hiding any of those pretty noises. You understand? Izuku nodded, his eyes squeezed shut. Say it. Yes, he said. I understand. Good, Katsuki said with another firm grasp at Izuku's cheek, spreading it from the other even though he couldn't see what was hidden underneath the layers of clothing. He ran his thumb down the seam aligned with Izuku's crack, a teasing move that pulled a light whimper from the green-haired man. I'm going to give you 10, Bakugo instructed. I want you to count. Understood? Izuku nodded. Again, yes. If you decide you don't like this or I'm hitting too hard, you need to check in. I like to use the color system. Green is all good, yellow slow down, and red means stop. Understand? Yes, sir, Izuku whispered. And oh, did Katsuki like the sound of that, especially along with the hard dick currently pressing into his thigh. The hand in Izuku's hair gently scratched lightly and soothingly at his scalp. Just as Midoriya leaned into the soft touch, Bakugo brought down the first strike to his ass. The motion drew a satisfying gasp out of Izuku, followed by a breathy "One." Bakugo brought down his hand on the other cheek. I said it right. Bakugo brought down his hand on the other cheek. 2, Izuku keyed, soon followed by a whispery moan of 3, 4. Doing great, Bakugo praised, giving a hard squeeze to Izuku's no doubt reddened ass. The praise and sensation pulled a loud moan from Izuku, who humped against Bakugo's leg, putting extra pressure against both his and Katsuki's erections. I didn't say you can hump me like some bitch in heat. Bakugo scolded, and two more hits came down on Izuku's ass, causing a delightful jiggle. Even the constant strain of his pants. Jesus. Let's get back to this reading. Sorry. I need, Izuku whined, his eyes becoming glossy. Katsuki pulled his hair again. What's the count? Izuku's eyes were wet and with unshed tears, and he tried. Oh crap! Izuku's eyes were wet with unshed tears, as he tried not to move, not to buck into Katsuki's lap. 6. Color. Green, Izuku said. Green, please, keep. I need it, please. How could Katsuki refuse? 7, Izuku moaned. 8, oh god, please. Almost done, baby, Bakugo said, dick painfully hard from watching Izuku come undone, and the tears that were now leaking from his eyes. He brought his hand down again, harder than he'd been doing. 9! Izuku practically screamed, followed by a chant of, please, please, please. Mercifully, Katsuki gave him his final spanking. Thrilled as Izuku sobbed out a whiny 10, he petted the other man's hair, rubbing soothingly at his legs as he carefully avoided the now tender area. Such a good boy. Perfect. Baby, just perfect. Izuku I want to. Can I, please? What do you want? Use your words. Giving into instinct, Izuku humped him again. Need to come. Please. I need to come, Katsuki. He thought he might come in his pants, just from the sound of his name on Izuku's lips. Come here, baby. Straddle my lap. Izuku was quick to do as told, thick thighs setting on either side of Katsuki's hips. Go ahead, baby. Make us come. Moan, Izuku went to work. He buried his face into the crook of Bakugo's neck, his hips snapping forward and grinding their clothed erections against each other, all while panting, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," in a hot breath over Katsuki's neck. The blonde placed his hand over the shorter man's hips, willing himself not to buck up. He wanted Izuku to finish them. He was panting and groaning in the pleasure of the delicious friction from Izuku's grinding, so very close to finishing. "Bite me," Izuku said. "Want you to mark me, please, Katsuki, please." Katsuki put his lips on the closest patch of skin, the juncture between Izuku's neck and his shoulder, and began his work marking his skin. Just like that, Izuku was coming, but he didn't stop moving until he felt Bakugo's own orgasm hit him. The blonde clutched the green-haired man's close. The blonde clutched the green-haired man's close to his body. Both overheated, sweating, panting, but erotic. He ran his hand over Izuku's back, scratched gently at his scalp until their breathing was calm again. Izuku lifted his head from Katsuki's shoulder, a dopey smile on his face. "That was amazing, Kachan." "Fuck yeah, it was, nerd." Katsuki agreed. He was struck by sudden desire to kiss said nerd, but held back. That wasn't what they agreed to. "You feel okay?" "Wonderful," Izuku said, smile growing. "You?" "Fantastic," Bakugo answered, "but sticky." Izuku laughed. "Yeah, we should clean up." "You can shower first," Katsuki offered. You'll want to lotion any red marks and shavings you have, okay?" "Okay, Kachan, I will," Izuku said. He seemed to hesitate, but finally removed himself from the other man's lap. If I want to try something else later, can I, Of course, Zuko, Katsuki said. "Just let me know what you need, okay?" "Okay." Okay, Kachan. Oh, Jesus, that was so hard. Hi guys. It's me again, Japanese Alien Studios. I know I messed up a whole lot in this. Please forgive me. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. And if you want to actually read the fanfiction yourself, I'll leave a link in the description so you don't have to deal with my annoying talking. And whoever said my voice was satisfying was obviously crazy, because I'm listening to myself and I sound crazy, in my opinion. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. And if I did sound a little weird, I'm actually tired. I'm filming this at like 2 a.m. So work with me. Actually like 3 a.m. now. 2:52, so it's like 3 a.m. to me. Alright, bye guys.